there. You can get a game plan going. You can start a whiteboard strategy session. And that way you can continue to get closer to your big goals that you have. So that was also came in at 61%. Number two, distributed workforce. So obviously, there's, like I said earlier, there's 3 million coworkers across the globe. And a lot of these coworkers are obviously entrepreneurs. Some are startups, some are businesses that have been vetted for 5, 10 years. You know, reducing the cost is a really huge benefit of co-working. And then you do have a lot of larger companies and Fortune 500 companies that are utilizing co-working spaces now due to the fact that they do have a lot of remote employees. So we are finding that remote workers are, in comparison based off data, 13% more productive than the typical employee that's in a cubicle office because they have that freedom to kind of move around and be remote and be able to have those creative ideas flowing. So a distributed workforce is really, really a big trend. And again, like I said earlier, if you guys aren't getting into that trend now, if you guys aren't getting ahead of that, then you're already behind because now the remote industry, and not just talking about co-working. So let's take that out because that's 3 million in itself. But just as a whole and holistically, the remote workforce is extremely crucial. And people, more and more people want that flexibility. They want that freedom to be able to be where they want to be, whether that's working from home, working in a co-working space, working in California for a weekend. They want the flexibility to be able to move around and to have that necessary mobility to be able to move forward. And it's a very, very exciting way to do things. And people are doing it for the flexibility to be around their family, to be able to travel, to be able to do the things that's necessary for their self-care to be able to be more productive. So if you're not getting in front of that, if you're a company or an organization that's not getting in front of that, then you're already behind and you truly definitely need to get ahead of that. So the distributed workforce is really, really huge now because a lot of companies that you're seeing as well, they have remote workers, right? So they're all their workers are not just in one office, they're remote, they're in different locations, they're working remote, working from home, working in co-working spaces. So that's definitely a trend that you want to get in front of. So it's important to understand that and know that. And if you have something exactly in your business that's definitely not, well, let me make sure I'm saying the right words. If you have a business and you're not really maximizing the benefit of remote workers and remote employees, it may be something that you really want to consider. We do have some of those business owners who, or we have like leaders and business owners and entrepreneurs who really want to stay intact with the people that they're working with, which is very important, but you don't want to be overbearing, right? So there are tools and tactics that I've been sharing in this podcast, as well as, like I said, I'm going to share in the upcoming episode about different tools that can help you alleviate that. Because I know there's people who have a little bit of anxiety when it comes to remote work, because there's those thoughts that go in your head. Are they working? How long? Are they really doing this? And so if it's something that you're new to, and if it's something that you're not accustomed to, if you've been in traditional corporate America for 20, 10, 20, 40 years, and of course you're used to people being in front of you, it can be a little intimidating when it comes down to remote co-working, right? And remote working. So if you're uncomfortable, don't worry. I have some tools and tips for you to share, but that's one of the second top as far as the different trends of remote working for 2020 and the collaboration trends. So understanding that the workforce now is distributed. It's not just one office, it's multiple offices, multiple locations, and it's globally as well. And let's tap down as well to number three, because this is, of course, my favorite and being social, corporate social networking. Okay. There's a lot of businesses who are still looking to master that. There's a lot of businesses still trying to get that kind of information going. And they're still getting used to, again, the remote way of working. And so one of the trends, of course, with remote working is social media. It's a part of our lives. It's what we use personally. It's what we use to connect, how we talk to people. More and more businesses are taking advantage of corporate social networking. And based off some of these trends, internet users spend 30% of their online time on social media. 30% is a lot of time. What I found was, and I'm able to check it too, because Facebook now gives, well, not Facebook, but there's a software called Sprout Social that I utilize as one of my tools for like social media and creating posts and content for my social media pages. It gives you the actual average day that you utilize social media, right? So on average, I utilize 3 hours and 45 minutes, and I'm using that as example of time that I use for social media. Now, I may want to cut that down a little bit because when you think about it from a day per day, that's like over 20 hours almost, or close to 20 or more than 20 hours per week of social media. And that could be just simply putting up content, posts, sharing different things that can get content out there to my targeted audience. But as you can see, corporate social networking and social media, it's a part of our lives now. It's not going anywhere. People utilize social media for everything. They utilize it to show the successes and they show complaints. People have destroyed businesses per se with complaints just utilizing social media. So it's the new technology innovative way of word of mouth, right? So that's the third collaboration trend, and that's something that you should be aware of. So if you're a business that's still not getting involved with social media, if you're not getting a necessary social media manager, if you're not getting someone involved to help you with working on your social media, definitely get that now, not tomorrow, probably in the next minute. Okay, so you may want to start assessing, the time frame that you have to work on your social media, and of course seek professional assistance as necessary. So getting that social media manager, getting those individuals who can help you with making sure that your social media pages for your business are definitely manageable, they're engaging, and that the right content is going out there as well. So definitely a trend for 2020. That's going to be a trend forever, in my personal opinion. And to be quite honest, there's going to be new innovative ways coming in the future where social media is going to change trajectory. And honestly, I can see that just based off the trends that I've been researching. I can see that even within the next 5 years, social media is definitely not going to be the same the way that it is as of right now. So let's go into number four. And number four is cloud based communication. So, obviously, online tools. And again, I'm not going to get too much into this one, but in episode 7, we're going to talk about some of the top collaboration tools of 2020. So, of course, working as a remote community member, being in co working, communication is everything. Talking with the people in your community, people that are in your co-working space, networking and engaging, but also being able to manage your teams, the people that work with you, as well as the business partnerships that you have and the people that you're partnered with. So cloud-based communication is definitely, it's useful, it's necessary, with the demand for workplace flexibility and just operational help. More businesses are switching to that, and they're finding the best tools to use for increased productivity, increased communication, and making sure that tasks and things are getting done. So again, not going to get into this one specifically because there's different tools that we can use going into episode 7. Number 5, smart meeting rooms. So smart meeting rooms, what does that mean? That means video cameras. That means high tech communication tools. That means having power screens that you're able to communicate with people global wide, right? Not just locally, but global wide. A place where people can come in. So if you're in a co-working space, obviously that's one of the things that you utilize is utilizing that space if you have to have meetings or co-work or conferences, things of that nature. Smart meeting rooms are a part of the top trends, right? um, 66% of workers say technology will create new opportunities, as they do, right? One of the, and interesting to bring that up, one of the trends that I saw, like I said, I saw it a week ago. I'm going to pull this up because I shared this on my LinkedIn page as well. And I'm on LinkedIn as Ali Joseph. You guys can find me on there. I saw this trend and I was just really intrigued by this trend. And it's something that's being studied on. And I'm trying to pull it up here because I want to make sure that I share this with you guys because it was a post that I shared a while back. And it's holographic collaboration. So if you're not familiar, you know that there has been usage of holographic images of celebrities And it's a 3D version of anything, right? Like a 3D version of a person, a 3D version of a product or a service. But holographics has been really popular over the last 5 years with celebrities, right? So they've done concerts with Michael Jackson, they've done a Tupac concert. So it's been really heavily popular with celebrities that have passed away, right? There's people that are just like super fans of these individuals. They've passed away, they've been passed away for some time. Michael Jackson passed away in 2009. I think Tupac, he passed in like 92, 93. So a lot of these people are still super fans, right? They're still listening to their music, they're still listening to just content that they've done. So here it is. I'm pulling it up for you guys now, but holographics has been something that's been a brand new trend. It's been going out there, and it's been something that has been utilized, and people, it's making revenue, right? Like people have went to these concerts and millions of dollars have been spent going to these concerts because it's still bringing that same level of experience when somebody's going to see a Michael Jackson or a Tupac. I'm using those as examples, but holographic collaboration. This is right now an idea in remote work, right? And when we talk about number 5, when it talks about smart meeting rooms, this can definitely be a new technology phenomenon. And so I found this article on zdnet.com, right? And it talks about the idea of taking virtual reality collaboration to a whole nother level. Typically, we're video conferencing all the time. We're doing meetings in a presentation room. Those are our traditional our smart rooms. We're doing video conferences. We are utilizing the best in microphones and technology, and we're sharing. We're able to utilize different tools such as Slack or use Google or G Suite to be able to not only just communicate with people in different locations and remotely, but also to be able to share documents, share presentations. So we're making this a new way of doing things. But one of the things that this article talked about was workplace collaboration solutions is actually doing holographs of people doing presentations. So it's the same method that's been being used, but instead of it being a video conference, taking that technology to the next level and actually having a holograph of the individuals presenting in an actual room from a holographic standpoint and doing the same kind of presentations. To me, that sounds pretty cool. And I'm going to dive deeper into the dive deeper into that article myself personally, but there are people that are actually interested in that. They're trying to bring the new innovative way of technology while still having the look and feel of having people in an in-office setting. So if you're interested in that, you can go to my LinkedIn page, and I'm under there as Ollie Joseph. And so you'll see the Coworking Culture podcast and things of that nature. So you can find me on LinkedIn, but the article is on zdnet.com, and it talks about the idea of holographic collaboration. And so people want to make sure that they're tightly connected. Now, this may be something that comes into play. I don't know how successful it is, but definitely if you're in a co-working space, into my co-working community, this is definitely a trend that you want to pay attention to is smart meeting rooms. Obviously, that's number 5 on the list. But holographic, in particular to smart meeting rooms, holographic collaboration. You may see time to time if this is found to be successful, because I want to see, so I want to make sure. So that way I want to make sure, because I want to see if this actual company that's utilizing it is it's called Spatil. If I'm not correct, pronouncing it correctly, my apologies. But that looks like the company Spatil that's actually trying to eliminate video conferencing and work travel and actually having virtual reality. So one of the big things obviously is cost, right? There's still a lot of businesses where you have to travel and you have to go and connect with people, especially if there's things that need to be locally. And they want to make sure that virtual reality is really honing in on that to help to continue to keep costs at bay for travel. So that's the name of the company, and it's really interesting. And right now, They have a Series A that's bringing in a total funding of $22 million. So they have some Series A funding. $22 million